Atlantis discovered in North Africa. The Eye of the Sahara, also known as the Richat Structure, is a geological feature located in the Sahara Desert in Mauritania. It is a circular formation with a diameter of about 50 kilometers, and it has long been a subject of fascination for scientists and the general public alike. Many theories have been proposed about the origin and purpose of the eye, but one of the most intriguing is the idea that it may be the remains of the lost city of Atlantis. The legend of Atlantis has been around for centuries, and it has captured the imagination of people all over the world. According to the ancient Greek philosopher Plato, Atlantis was a powerful and advanced civilization that existed around 11,000 years ago. It was said to be located in the Atlantic Ocean, and it was described as a utopia where the people lived in harmony and prosperity. However, Atlantis eventually fell into decline and was eventually destroyed in a single day and night of catastrophic events. Many people have searched for the lost city of Atlantis over the years, but no concrete evidence of its existence has ever been found. However, some believe that the Eye of the Sahara may be the key to unlocking the mystery of Atlantis. The Eye of the Sahara is a geological feature that is unlike anything else on Earth. It is a circular formation with a diameter of about 50 kilometers, and it is surrounded by a series of concentric rings. The center of the eye is a depression that is about 30 meters deep, and it is filled with sediment that has been deposited over the years. The surrounding rings are made up of exposed rock, and they are thought to be the remains of an ancient mountain range. There are several theories about the origin of the Eye of the Sahara, but one of the most popular is that it is the result of a meteor impact. According to this theory, the eye was formed when a meteor struck the Earth and created a massive crater. The impact would have caused the surrounding rock to be pushed up and out, creating the concentric rings that are visible today. However, some scientists believe that the Eye of the Sahara may have a different origin. They argue that the feature is too symmetrical and regular to be the result of a meteor impact, and they suggest that it may be the result of some other geological process. This has led some people to speculate that the eye may be the remains of Atlantis. The idea that the Eye of the Sahara is the remains of Atlantis is based on a number of factors. First, the location of the eye is in line with the general location of Atlantis as described by Plato. According to Plato, Atlantis was located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which are the two rocky promontories at the entrance to the Mediterranean Sea. The Eye of the Sahara is located in the Sahara Desert, which is directly south of the Mediterranean Sea. Second, the Eye of the Sahara is a circular formation with concentric rings, which is similar to the description of Atlantis given by Plato. In his writings, Plato described Atlantis as a circular island with concentric rings of water and land. Some people believe that the Eye of the Sahara is the remains of the island of Atlantis, and that the concentric rings are the remains of the rings of water and land. Finally, the Eye of the Sahara is thought to be incredibly old, with some estimates putting its age at over 500 million years. This is consistent with the idea that Atlantis was a very ancient civilization. Despite the interesting theories about the Eye of the Sahara, there is currently no concrete evidence to support the idea that it is the remains of Atlantis. However, the eye is an intriguing and mysterious geological feature that continues to fascinate scientists and the general public alike. More similarities between Atlantis and the Eye of the Sahara. Solon, Plato's relative, was an Athenian statesman and poet who traveled to Egypt and learned about Atlantis firsthand. It's these stories that Solon relayed to Plato. In Plato's Critias and Timaeus dialogues, he describes Atlantis as 3 alternating zones of water and 2 of land, which could easily be transposed onto the physical structure of the eye that we know today. The nearby mountains were seen as representatives of the gods and celebrated for their lush rivers and waterfalls. These mountains were said to be in the north, the precise location of the Eye's mountains. When you look at the satellite images of the Eye, you can see the river and water lines that appear throughout the landscape. Plato described the sea to the south of Atlantis in the desert surrounding the area, which also appears in satellite images. It was said that the fresh water flowed from the center island of Atlantis, which also exists in the center circle of the Eye. Satellite imagery shows that weather pushed mud across the region, which could easily be attributed to a tsunami, one of the many aspects of the weather system that simultaneously destroyed Atlantis. Mauritania exports copper and gold, which were plentiful throughout the empire of Atlantis. Plato reported that elephants and many other animals were abundant on Atlantis. Many elephant bones have been found near the Eye. Black, red, and lighter colored rocks were reported to be embedded throughout the land of Atlantis. This is also true of the Eye. There have been thousands of artifacts found in and around the Richat Structure. Most are 12,000 years old and older, which puts them in the time frame of Atlantis. These items include arrowheads, spears, stone spheres, surfboards, oars, ship hulls, and more. Legend tells us that Atlantis was an empire made of 10 kingdoms, with the island of Atlantis as the capital. The god Poseidon gave birth to 5 sets of twins, 10 children in total, each one running one of the 10 kingdoms. Having twins is a rare occurrence. It just so happens that the highest birth rate of twins on planet Earth is found in Nigeria, very close to Mauritania. Plato and Solon were known to have integrity and were therefore rarely challenged. Atlantis is the only story of Plato's that was ever disputed. One of the strangest aspects of the history of Atlantis is that none of these theories are presented in Wikipedia, and every related page is locked. This includes pages about the Eye, King Atlas, and the god Poseidon. How is it that the universally accepted concept that Atlantis existed is left out of one of society's most treasured resources? If you're still on the fence about the Eye of the Sahara being the location of the city of Atlantis, consider that the city of Troy was thought to be a myth for thousands of years until it was found exactly where Homer said it would be. Source: reposted and summarized from Paul Wagner at Gaia.com. My take: North Africa seems like a pretty good fit for Atlantis. I would love to know the full truth of the matter.
Don't forget to sign up for our Patreon page. Members get early access to videos, ad-free, and you can see content you can't see anywhere else.